Profit Concepts by John Kane. As we look at John Kane's concepts of profit, let's first discuss the profit concept and labor value concept. The profit concept graph illustrates the capitalist system of investment as it pertains to society. This concept was arrived at by John Kane as a result and conclusion of the book The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, who was an 18th century writer. If we focus on the labor value graph, we can see that it is derived from an 8-hour day. 4 hours of this workday goes to pay and wear and tear on the machinery, cost of raw stock, and the energy required to produce a product for society's use. The next part of this graph goes to wages to pay, to keep the worker for his upkeep and his family welfare. The third and final part is called the surplus labor. Surplus labor is then taken by the capitalist freely, that is, free as to contributing nothing as to labor exertion that created the labor product for society. Focusing back on the profit graph, you may ask yourself, what is the purpose of this that depicts the investment of capital money? Is it to create jobs? No. Is it to create a product for society's needs? Not exactly. So what is the purpose of this profit-motivating pie graph concept? If it is not to create jobs or to create products for society's needs, then what is it for? Well, the purpose of this concept is to make a profit. A profit as embodied in the form of wealth and riches that takes the form of capital money. So how do you do this if you do not work for it? Very simply, you do this by investing capital. If you invest capital $1 million into this concept, you will get back 25% profit, or $250,000, plus your original investment of $1 million for a grand total of $1,250,000 capital. Comparison of the 6-hour workday and the 8-hour workday. Let's take a look again at two different pie graphs, but instead of a profit-motivating graph, we have replaced it with a labor value graph of 6 hours alongside of the graph of 8 hours of labor value. The question becomes now, how can we work 6 hours instead of 8 hours and still meet our production need? To answer this, you will notice that in the 6-hour graph, it is now missing the 2 hours designated to surplus labor value. If you remember from our past graphs, surplus labor is taken by a capitalist for free. Therefore, the only reason to designate the 2 hours of free labor value is to give it to the capitalist that I mentioned previously, whom exerted no labor creation to create this product for society's use. Therefore, by eliminating the free surplus labor value, we can work just 6 hours and produce society's production needs. If we're to eliminate this free labor value, we have lost nothing as to the overhead or the wages paid to the worker for upkeep of the worker and his family. This means that a worker will now have 2 hours more every work day to be with his family or do what he chooses with his own life.